There's nothing worse than plugging in your hard drive to hear an odd clicking noise and not seeing it mount. I've had my fair share of hard drives die over the course of my career, and it's not a fun experience. If there's a rule to live by when it comes to footage and project backup, it's that 2 is 1 and 1 is none. In this video, I'm going to dive into the process that I use to back up all the footage after I finish up a shoot. The footage that you shoot is really important, so it's best to make sure that it's backed up and safe. Hard drives can fail, files can become corrupt, and cards can be accidentally formatted. Developing a data management system that works for you will help prevent you from having any upset clients, costly reshoots, or having to use expensive data recovery services. I generally work on smaller productions where there isn't a data wrangler on set. So I tend to do most of my own data wrangling, and the data management system I've developed is perfect for the types of productions that I work on. When I'm on set, I generally like to dual record where possible. If you're new to dual recording, also known as simultaneous recording, it's a setting that allows you to record the footage that you're capturing onto both your cards in your camera at the same time. I like dual recording as you basically have an automatic backup of the things you've shot. It also enables you to hand off one of the SD cards to production if there's a quick turnaround on the edit, while still holding onto a copy of the footage, just in case there isn't any time to do a backup after the shoot. Once I've filled up a card, I make sure to lock it and then I pop it in its plastic case to keep it safe. I put the SD card label facing inward in my SD card wallet, signifying that the card's been exposed and needs to be backed up. I have 2 portable hard drives that I back my footage up on. I use an app called Haste to create project folders, which I then copy my footage over to. If you don't know what Haste is, check out my video on it here. In short, it allows you to create different folder structure templates that have a consistent naming convention and folder structure for the types of projects that you're working on. So it's easy to find files later down the line. Once I've created project folders across both hard drives, I get the SD cards ready to be backed up. Instead of copying footage using Finder or File Explorer, I use an application called Offshoot to do my backups. Offshoot allows you to transfer a card to multiple destinations, quickly rename SD cards, and does a checksum on the files, which makes sure that the data copied on the external hard drive matches the data on the SD cards and hasn't been altered in any way during the transfer process. There's also a companion cloud-based app called Connect that you can link to your Offshoot app. Logging into Connect via a web browser, you'll be able to see how your transfers are going remotely, and you'll get a notification when your current transfer is done, given that your mobile web browser supports notifications. So you're able to take a step away from the computer while you're backing up your data. I start backing up each of the cards that I've filmed on one at a time. I add both the external hard drives to Offshoot's destinations and then start the file transfer. With the transfer complete, you will notice that there is a new text file created for each card that you've transferred over to the destination. This file contains a report of all the files that were transferred and if there were any issues with the transfer process. I do a check to make sure that the file sizes and number of files on the external hard drive match what's on the SD card. You might notice that the copy on the external hard drive may have a couple of extra files and is slightly larger. That's okay because there will be the extra log files included on the external hard drive version. I'll quickly play back some of the recently copied clips to make sure that there's nothing funny about the playback, and if they're all good, I start the process over again if there are any more cards to back up. Before putting the SD cards away, I unlock the media and then pop them back into my SD card wallet, labels facing outwards, signifying that the card's been backed up and is ready to be formatted. If I don't have any upcoming shoots, I'll leave formatting the cards until I've dropped off the footage with my clients and they've backed it up on their end, just in case anything happens. There you have it, my approach to data wrangling and backup. This is what works for me, and it's been something that I've been iterating on as my needs change. What might work for me might not necessarily work for you, as your needs may vary, but I hope this gives you a starting off point. My friend Flick has put together an awesome guide to data management and data wrangling. I've popped a link to their video down in the description below. Their video focuses much more on working on larger sets as a first or second AC, managing the data wrangling of footage. But there's some really good gems of knowledge that definitely are relevant even if you work on smaller productions. I'd love to know how you go about backing up your footage. Have you ever had a hard drive crash on you? How did you manage the situation? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, you might also like to check out how I integrate Notion into my pre-production workflow in this video here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, don't forget to hit record.